Hi, this is Dr. Gary Bell. Today we are talking about the idea of the Socratic method. And what is the Socratic method? Well, I was very fortunate. I went to high school in the United States in Indiana, but I went to college for part of my bachelor's degree in England. And in England, they have a different way of educating than we in the United States do. We in the United States, you have to pass your test, your grades with A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's. That's not the way that things are taught in England. What the way things are taught in some of the higher education institutions, maybe not all of them, is that you go off and you read the material. You come back, a professor will facilitate the discussion of what did you learn from the book? What did you learn about this chapter? How did you take away this? And everybody comes at it with different ideas. And what happens is we learn from each other. Now, coming back to the United States by learning from each other, we would want to go talk even after classes. We go have a beer down at the pub and talk all night about what we were talking about in class because it was so exciting to be able to share thoughts and ideas and hear them and learn from each other. That's the Socratic method. However, we in the United States have to learn from the professor how to get an A in the class and how to pass the test, but we don't retain information. And so there's a huge disparity in the American education because it lacks that Socratic method. The Socratic method means you have to own your crap. Here in the United States, you have to pass the test. You get a certificate that says you did this thing and you're gone, but you may not remember anything that you learned. And so what we have to understand is if you come into the English American educational system with the Socratic approach, what you will do is you will learn how to learn. And that is to read the book and ask the professor immediately entering a class, how do I get an A in this class? And what do I need to learn to pass the test with an A? I want an A in the class. What do I have to do? Professors love to hear that. That means you care. Very important. But the idea is you need to learn from the book and not learn from the professor. Learn from the book. If you learn from the book, you're going to learn probably more than the syllabus has taught the professor that's teaching a class that they may not even know anything beyond the syllabus. You will bypass terrible professors, terrible teachers when you learn from the book. That's how we have to learn if you want to take control of your education and learn how to learn. You learn how to pass the test and get an A from the teacher. You learn the topic from the book. Dr. Gary Bell's Absurd Psychology.